Wall Street Journal reporting the Justice Department and SEC investigating trading activity in Activision Blizzard ahead of the company agreeing to be acquired by Microsoft. Steve Kovacs joins us now with more. Steve.
Andrew, I heard a little bit more from the Bobby Kotick side of this issue about that brunch you guys were talking about last hour. So I'll just tell you what his spokesperson, Mark Hurd, told me last night. Quote, Mr. Kotick had a social brunch with his friends at a popular restaurant. He, of course, didn't share any information with them regarding a possible transaction with Microsoft. So, Andrew, kind of making this sound like a social thing among friends. Of course, as you guys were talking about earlier, who knows what was actually said or other signals that could have been sent. But, of course, we know how Barry Diller is framing this and saying, you know, everything's above board and things like that, Andrew.
I think the real question at this point is there's going to be evidence that's going to be brought to bear in terms of either emails and other documentation. Barry Diller has publicly said that they're turning that over, and he believes that that effectively exonerates them, explains the story as a coincidence, suggests that I believe that David Geffen perhaps had a view, as did others in the marketplace at the time, that either a buyout of the company or potentially a take private was possible. Of course, you know, whether there are, I mean, there's two issues when it comes to insider trading that are fascinating. You know, the tipper and the tippee become, you know, typically for insider trading to happen in a meaningful way, though I think actually there's examples of it in different contexts. You know, what Bobby Kotick said or didn't say may in some ways be irrelevant or could be relevant. Typically, there's supposed to be some kind of transfer, not just of information, but effectively compensation for the information. So right. if you got some kind of sign or you thought you got a sign, what does that really mean, right? And I think this is the kind of thing we're going to learn a lot more about as this plays out.
Yeah, and Andrew, just also look, I mean, they were looking at the same public data that everyone else was. You know, Berkshire Hathaway invested a ton into Activision, and Microsoft, of course, saw the stock falling because of all these cultural issues within the company, smelled blood in the water, and realized they can get this really good company on the cheap because of all these problems. So it's very possible these three men, you know, saw the same data that Berkshire Hathaway saw, that Microsoft saw, and said, hey, this is an opportunity. This is an acquisition target. We know the gaming industry is going through a lot of M&A right now, and it's going to heat up even more. So, I mean, yeah, and plus they bought these options. I think it was at $40 a share, so they were already in the money from the get-go. Andrew.